Let him intro the fucking episode.
Sioux Empire podcast, all about Pokehon.
A pathless wilderness, wild, rugged, that was a hardy frontier, far from the paths of civilization.
Aw, Cammy, you just got peed on.
Where fortune beckoned with a glittering smile.
Well, have you seen South Dakotans, John? They are insanely hot.
And life hung on the quickness of a trigger finger.
Don't jerk and drive.
The Sioux Empire Podcast.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Sioux Empire Podcast. That's the Sioux Empire Podcast, the quirky but harmless podcast that's all about Sioux Empire news, comedy, music, and culture. I am your host, Robert Mailing, and with me, as always, is Seth Glover.
Welcome to episode 79.
With the smooth moves. Wah! And also joining us is Natasha Estes.
I don't have smooth moves today.
Yes, you do. You've got moves. Do it. Do it. Perfect. That's exactly what I mean when I say smooth moves. Also with her is
I want to make a poop joke, but I
Dustin Burry.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Hi, guys.
It's like that last thing I was doing was a bit.
Let's see if you can go 4
You're
for
picking
4.
on me.
I was bullying, and this is a safe space. I shouldn't bully. I'm sorry. And of course, our guest this week, YouTube's Pokehon.
What up, what up? Glad to be here.
Alrighty. So, I was gonna say let's get into this, but mostly we're getting into you, sir.
That's weird.
Yes, it is. And that pause really helped. Okay.
I feel like last time we didn't get into you enough, so this time we want to get in there.
Yeah, you are part of the. You don't even know this, but
That's what I was wondering when you said that earlier.
Past the
you are part of the
epidermis.
origin story of the 2-episode model, where we went through and looked at the episodes from 2016, and we were like, well, in the summer we had 4 episodes where we had guests on, but we didn't really get to talk to the guests about what they were actually up to, other than the shameless plug. That was the only part where you got to actually talk about what the fuck you were here to promote or what activity you were engaged in. So you and a few others from that period are the reason we adopted the 2-episode system. So no pressure, but it's all on you to validate this format that we're giving you.
The first time I came here, I did not know that we were going to talk about mainly news, and I was kind of a bit thrown off, to be completely honest. What do you think about this? What?
You've invoked change, Pokehon.
Awesome.
Yes, you are a force for change in the world, or at least in this podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're gonna pick that up for me, but thank you.
Yeah, I was there, just in case you weren't.
You're always there for me.
Wait, I have to get a picture. Okay, I got it.
Take the fucking picture.
I was going to sit here for a while and act like I didn't take it.
It's like,
Just
Natasha's
wait.
just like, no,
The light was
please.
off on that one.
Now brush his hair.
Ooh, I didn't have flash on there.
So, as people may be familiar, because we like to share your videos a lot on the SiouxEmpire.com and through our social media stuff, you are a YouTuber. You video blog. It started with, and this is one of the things we're going to get to, you more with the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
But you've diversified greatly since then. Some of my favorite videos you do are the one you put out today about the Funko Pops.
Okay.
So, random question: did you go to San Diego Comic-Con?
I didn't know, but
Okay.
they released the collecticles so that
So they
everybody
released the
kinda goes
ones
out
that
to
are like
hunt
the
them, yeah.
San Diego
They just put
edition of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Okay. Because I'd love to fucking go to that, man. Have you ever been to that?
I haven't, no.
Okay. Because, yeah.
But you know what's crazy is if you just watch it and then you hear people that actually go to them and go to the big panels, they wait for 2 days to get into a certain panel. You know what I mean? That's just nuts. And I think about
and
I
no
would not be able,
worth that.
Yep. I mean and who knows where you're gonna sit? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because that'd just be crazy. I know people do it for Black Friday or whatever. But man, I mean, to wait for a panel and then not even know if you're going to be able to really see them. I mean,
and then what if it's a weak panel? What, because like every once in a while the creators like foil people's expectations. Like you'll have ones like Decon or other. I'm sure it happens with San Diego Comic-Con where everyone's like, well, based on the release schedule and stuff like that, we're pretty sure we're going to get a new trailer for Ragnarok or some. This isn't an actual thing that happened, but it's like this. Where you expect they're going to get a new trailer or a new product or they're going to have an interview with this person or something like that. And lots of people, times you do that 2 days wait and you get skunked.
Yeah.
It's from what I understand. It's like, there's no guarantee that you're going to see something amazing. And then it's like, and then you waited 2 days for that and find out across the hall and one that was a different one, something amazing that's like blowing up all over like CNN and shit happened.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, you need to, if you're going to do that, you need to go to the ones that you really want to catch, and the big panels would be the ones I'd want to do, like where they have like the full cast on.
Yeah,
those would be the only ones, because then you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to have multiple people from a show you really love, like the big Walking Dead panels or like the big Game of Thrones panels.
Yeah.
Like those would be ones I'd be willing to wait for, but I just think about like a 2-day wait for that. It just would be insane. Like I'm a fan, but I'm just not. I don't know if I'd like to do that. I mean, I'm gonna have a hotel, and just to think that I would be spending my time standing outside to go into a panel all night, but my hotel's there with a pool and
you're gonna see it on YouTube in like 3 hours after it happens anyway.
I think
with better view than you would have had.
Yeah,
in person.
exactly.
I'd still go.
I'd go, but if you've ever seen them answer questions in the crowd, it's flat across. It's not like they're sitting in like a concert setup where it's like, you have the high end and then you got all the way down to like the pit, This is like flat across. So if you're sitting behind someone, you might not be able to even see.
Which is...
That would suck,
so much.
I'm short, so that's fucking a possibility on a flat plane.
Yep.
So it kind of went off on a tangent here, but...
The Earth is
so, you do the YouTube channel, and anyway, why I got on the tangent was I like the videos with like the Funko Pops and stuff like that. So now I'm totally like, do I need a Darth Vader Funko where he's sitting on his TIE Fighter Advanced with the little Death Star stand? That's fucking awesome.
That's just crazy, yeah. And that's kind of the thing, like, when you're a collector, you don't... I think the thing with me is, like, if it was, like, a couple years back, who knows what I would have went on for. It's just that was the moment that, like, Pokemon was just really going crazy at the time, and I was like... Man, people are opening packs on their channels and they're doing videos. I'm watching them. I could do this. But before that, I actually thought about doing something more like, animal-based just because I'm an animal lover. But, that was just a time. And then now that I have some people actually watching, I just am kind of doing my own thing. And now, like a lot of people do it to make money. I don't. So it's like I just do what I love, and like hopefully people that are collecting hit me up and start conversations. That's kind of the thing I like.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you? It seems like with running your channel and being plugged in with like SuperCon and stuff like that. What's your? I'm really curious about what's your. Like, I have a Feedly I've custom configured with, like, a whole bunch of different feeds that are, like, how I know what's going on, and that's, like, my status report for things happening in the Sioux Empire that might be of interest to this podcast. Where do you get your info for, like, oh, this is something I want to talk about, or this is, oh, I hear Target, like, where do you find out about where the good Funkos are, stuff like that?
I mean... Like, to some degree, social media is kind of a good outlet to figure out that there's good stuff. I do, like, movie reviews now. I do the vlogs. I do just about anything I want to do. And, like, really, it's just like, okay, the week's coming up. I got to record a video. What am I going to do for this week? What's out this week?
Yeah,
That's basically what I do.
Basically, what do you go to? Is it Facebook? And if it's Facebook, is there, like, a group or a page or something
I have
that you
my
go
own...
to?
I have the Collector's Corner, which is my... collector page, but it's mostly me posting in there, and then some people will join in and show what they've gotten. But other than that, like it is mainly just what I want to do, and like it's kind of just like this is the week. What am I gonna do for this weekend? What's coming out? And that's basically how I kind of figure out what video I'm gonna do. So it's something I'm into, But I mean, there's no real crazy direction for it. I do a certain type of videos, and I just see what is available for that particular video. Within what I'm doing so far, and then I am trying to expand into some cases, like doing the vlog. I do like to do that more, get more personal stuff on there too. So
Sure.
it's just basically documenting things I like, and I do that stuff on a regular. The thing is that I would do what I do on YouTube on a regular basis. I'm just not filming it,
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, that's really kind of one of the things too that started me into YouTube. Is like, why don't I film me doing this? Because like I'm already doing it, and I can share that experience with other people.
So you're it's not like the podcast here where it's a construct where it's like, I wouldn't be getting together every other Saturday to talk about local politics and local news if it weren't for the existence of the podcast. Whereas you're like, I would be picking up this Funko anyway, so why not film myself doing it and talk about it?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Cool.
Like, I don't have to wait for something to really drive the channel. Like, I can make whatever videos I want, and that's kind of the freedom I have. Like,
Absolutely. What's some advice someone that's like doing a YouTube channel or wants to get into vlogging or that whole like world? What would your advice be? You're one of the more successful like YouTubers that I like actually know personally. What would you say to someone that's like, oh, I want to start a channel and I want to get some attention or draw attention to this, or I just want to talk about this, or it sounds like you've got kind of a like passive, like I let it happen and I let it wash over me kind of like, there's thought definitely because your videos are well produced.
Yeah.
But it's not like, and there's thought, there's design, but by the same time I want to say it's not like top down, like arbitrary storyboarded, like
there's not like a huge
engine.
pressure for me to make something. And what I'd say for someone that wants to get into videoing and things like that, just go for it, do what you want, get stuff that, before I started I just filmed a ton of stuff, and now that I got it kind of down, I just do the videos and I just kind of try to improve them, from my past experience and figuring out what I like to do, and then it just kind of works itself out. But I mean, when you first start out, I'd say patience is a huge thing, because like you're not going to get this crazy following right away. I mean, it's got to be something you want to do and that you like doing, because if you do it for views and people to watch it, you might get discouraged. So I'd say just keep up with what you like to do. Have a purpose for it. I mean, for me, it's just like the community, which you'll eventually get. I mean, over time, it's just not giving up. And do it for the reasons like that you love doing what you do. And like, I mean, for me, it's a hobby. It's not a career by any means. So I think that is a big thing for people too, is that they think they're going to go on there and make a ton of money. And I can tell you're going to spend what you need to spend on your channel, and you might as well be doing it for yourself and the things you want to get out of it than, trying to get people to pay you money to do the things. So,
yeah. It's funny because you're mirroring my exact advice. I just did a public speech about podcasting and why I do it and what works and what doesn't, stuff like that. And there was a big Q&A and a million cups feature in Sioux Falls, and your response is exactly what I told someone who was just like, someone mentioned in that Q&A that they had started a podcast and vlog, and they did it for like 6 months and it wasn't successful, or they didn't get the traction that they were looking for out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your advice to get through it? And you basically just like outlay the exact same answer, where it's just like, if you're doing this for the money, you're in the wrong business, or you're in the wrong thing. I do this for fun, and then happen to work at it, treat it like a business, but also do it for fun. And my initial response was mental illness. Mental illness really helps with the sticking to it, because that was part of it, was that a lot of people don't understand is the persistence, because it's like half of it is just being around a long time and building momentum. And there's just so many that you wouldn't think it, but there are so many people that weeds out that like, if they can't imagine doing something for a year without immediately getting some kind of feedback.
Exactly, they want like the instant payout, and like things like the podcast is a great example, and like doing videos, like if you're not doing it for some reasons for yourself, as far as like getting something to fulfill something for yourself, I don't know, like that drive will run out pretty quickly. If you're getting there just to get what you want and you don't get it, then you quit. And I've noticed the group of people I started with, because when you get in, you start meeting people that are kind of in your area. I noticed a lot of them quit because certain things that YouTube has done throughout time is just kind of faded their channels, and they just don't, try to, go through it. I mean, that's just the way you would continue on and get more people on your channel, is that you're around and people know who you are. You got to think, I mean, if I was on a video and 100 people watched it, that's 100 people that have looked at me through the internet, like, from around the world. Like, that's pretty crazy to even think of that.
In the grand scheme of the internet world, where they're like, I got 20,000 views or something like that, that doesn't sound like much, but I'm always like, even if I have an episode that only has, like, 500 listeners or something like that, I just addressed a room of 500 fucking people. You know how, like, ridiculous that is?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy to think that, like, 100 people, like, just if there was 100 people that watched me in a room, like, that would be nerve-wracking for one, but then, like, there is people that are doing that. I mean, my channel does average about 100 a video, which I'm really happy for. I'm really glad that people are interested in what I'm making, to be completely honest.
Absolutely.
So, do you feel any pressure at all, like, to keep on a schedule, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like you kind of mentioned, what you're saying is, like, being there, like, I am there every weekend, to make one video. And that's not a lot, but if you're not there, people will leave, because there's so many people that do it. And that's the big thing, is that you're just, like, one person out of, like, 1 million people. If someone has 1 million subscribers, that's 1 million people that are viewing their channel, So that's just even crazier.
Yeah, and I imagine it's like, if you have 1 million subscribers and you have a bad weekend, it's it's like, so if you have a day where your numbers are a little down, the equivalent of, like, an auditorium of people walked out on you. It's just like, if you had all of your listeners in, like, one giant room and that many people left, you'd be like, holy fuck! What did I do?
It's
what did
really
I say?
nuts.
What did I say?
It's really nuts to think that there is people out there where people tune in and know who that person is from, like the 200,000 kind of scale per video.
Yeah.
Like, just to even imagine that there's that many people that are on the internet, on YouTube, for that particular person, whatever they're making for content. But that's just crazy to think that. But for someone like me, I'm figuring that I'm going to be on YouTube for a good amount of time, so. I mean, and the thing is, like, a lot of people are getting into it, and there's a lot of people that hop on that do make it, and it's crazy to think that, like, some of the stuff I make, like, that's crazy to even think that there'd be that many people watching. But, I mean, like I said, I do it for a hobby, so it's not that big of a deal for me. But, yeah, like, I'm not pressured. That's the great thing about it. It's like, I keep my videos up for myself, and because I have an audience that I do want to keep, and it's nice when you see it grow, too.
Sure. And let's go back just a little bit. You mentioned, you'd seen a lot of people drop off from the vlogging because of YouTube policy changes, and that's something I haven't noticed that I thought we might talk about a little bit. Is I watch a lot of YouTube. Like, probably one of my best decisions of this summer was picking up YouTube Red, just because I didn't realize how much ads I was watching.
Yeah.
Just because I watch so much YouTube, and if all your videos you're watching are like 7 and 10 minutes, it's like, fuck, it's like watching regular TV without the DVR. So, anyway, shameless plug for YouTube Red there, but and the music is amazing. I love the music app. Anyway, what are some of the recent policy changes, and what do you think about like changes with monetization and the different policies that I just know that, especially in the last 3 months, we've had a lot of, like, really upset creators on YouTube.
Yeah, it's because those people are living off of YouTube. So, like, for me, it's not as big of a deal. But the thing that really depletes, like, and I can feel, like, is that if they're hurting, then my channel would be suffering, because, like, I'm one of, like, 1,300 subscribers, and these people have millions of subscribers. And if they're hurting, like, that just shows you, like, it doesn't matter, like, what size you are, like, people are not being able to be seen. And that's a big factor of, like, what's really been kind of happening with how they've been changing things is, like, people, like, the people that complain, it's because they get so many people to view, and then they're not showing up in the search as, like, the top people, when they think that they should be. And that's kind of, like, for me, like, then you would even see I'd be way down the line, because I'm a smaller channel. Like, my videos would be really far few. But the nice thing that kind of keeps people my size, and, like, how would you be able to find my videos? Well, the thing is, like, people that are on YouTube go to, for instance, like I want to search something. Well, let me see the time that they just uploaded. Like they would search different filters to get people like me because they would rather see someone like at my size than someone with a big, following, which is cool because the people that do that are the ones that have found my channel. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
YouTubers included. I mean, you wouldn't even imagine how many people that are subscribed to me that have tried YouTube, because they watch it, they want to try it, but they don't go very far. They don't want to, hold on for the long run.
Yeah, there's that some sociologist in a study like 2 years ago called it grit. That's just like you stick to it even if it's like not paying off right away, and that's a huge indicator of success. In that in his paper, it's like in all endeavors, but I especially see it in the creative world with with radio, with podcast, with stand-up comedy, with YouTube video vlogs, stuff like that, or even just blogging. You see that writing,
Yeah.
like I said, the whole, you could almost say that for like everything in life. But I especially am seeing it in the creative endeavors because lots of times you have to start off with a lot of initial sweat equity of just putting in a lot of time and not getting any kind of gratification or payoff right away from it. It's the long game. But
it's just like anybody in this room. You're comfortable talking to people through your podcast because you've just been doing it for a long time. You can host a whole show.
I like to talk.
So I mean that's something some people can't do. So
yeah. Let's see. So what's the future doing for Pokehon? What are some of do you like specifically for the YouTube channel? Do you have any like future like things you want to branch off into, or new projects, or you have like projects outside of the video that you're like working on expanding?
Not so much, but I think my biggest things is like learning how to do certain things. So when I do major things like traveling, I want to do like travel vlogs outside of the country.
Sure.
Like that's like a long time goal, but I want to be at the point where I'm so familiar with everything I'm doing. So when I do go out, spend a good amount of money to travel, that I can vlog it in a way that I'm like satisfied. I don't have to be like, oh, let me go, like just like how you guys are talking, like you can't record a podcast, but like you can't re-record you going somewhere.
Yeah, your trip to a once in a lifetime experience thing.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting to that point where I want to do that, like, and that's kind of the long term goal just for myself. But other than that, like I said, I don't have like a pressure to do it. It's like just besides just I have to have one video up per weekend, which
sure
isn't too pressuring really, but it is a lot of work though. If you know what I mean, like the transitions, making everything sound right, making everything look right and steady.
Yeah, Seth could relate to that.
That's a lot of work, dude. Like, it's not... I mean, I don't know how people do it where they vlog every single day, they edit the video. I see those people, I'm like, dude, when I do a vlog, like, it takes hours to get that stuff all looking correct. Like, I don't know how they do it every single day. But that is their job.
Yeah.
But it's crazy even to hear someone say, okay, well, I'm making enough now that I can just quit my job and vlog. Like, that's a pretty unique life. Just in general. Like, that's your job. You wake up and you show people what you do every day.
Absolutely.
It's sadly unique that people can't make a living off of their creativity or their creative juices.
Yeah.
But it's awesome when some people can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely value that people are able to do that just because, like, I mean, you're doing something you really love to do and you get to do it every single day. You have people that are constantly talking with you and living out your life with you as well. Like, that's pretty cool. Not like, I don't know, like, if I'd be a full-time vlogger. Like, there's days I'm just like, dude, I do not want to be on a camera, to be completely honest. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, but yeah, I wish there's more creative aspects to life. I mean, I think, like, even when you're in school, like, they're like, oh, you're the creative type. Like, you, like, arts where, like, if you say, like, your favorite subjects, like, art and PE, like, they're like, really? You're that kind of person? They don't give, like, the creative people, like, the push they need,
Yeah, and sometimes the format is a little, I don't know, my big thing is that, I was the kid that really, really didn't like art class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I can't get little pipe cleaners to bend right. My tree looks like shit.
Cut shit right with scissors.
Yeah, and 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 then I went from that to full-time graphic designer, getting paid to like basically, and it was like, you know, a print shop where I was doing like vinyl work and wraps and stuff like that. So every fucking day was art class.
Yeah.
And I would do that. I'd be wrapping a semi or a car or something, and I'd be like, every day is art class. I hated art class. So yeah, I don't. Sometimes that stuff doesn't translate, or maybe it's the way it was taught when I was there or something, or I don't know. I'm grasping at straws for like finding deeper meaning in that, but you know what I mean.
I don't know, man. I just
Make
felt like
your own meaning,
fucking
that's what the
inferior
art's
as far as it, or when it came to art, especially because I had artists in my family, and so you know, had like grandma and aunts that are pretty good artists.
What are they art?
Well, my grandma didn't like abstract, so she only did like a lot of landscapes.
Oh, cool.
And
like paint or draw or
paint, yeah,
cool.
yeah. And then my I have an aunt that does like murals on the sides of buildings and shit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but I've yeah, man, I can relate. But I've since taken up painting, and I just have forgone, you know, trying to do realism. So, and that helps.
Yeah, I
finally fucking be like, oh yeah, I suck at that, but I do like to paint.
But I like the act of it,
yeah.
And what comes out is still pretty. It's still appealing,
dude.
So it's like, yeah,
I got some great shit. I'm gonna sell it on the SiouxEmpirePodcast.com.
Nice.
That's why I wish like life was where like you could go up to like a big thing and be like, well, I love music. I like to do things incorporated with music. I like art. I like. What do you have for a job for me to do? You know, like I wish there was just like a purpose for everything that you really love to do.
Talking about the AI overlord I was talking about earlier, because it's exactly the way I picture it. Universal minimum income, everything is just automated that sucks, and you just go to a machine and like, you know, I want to like climb a rock face today, or I want to draw a great painting, or I want to spend 3 years writing the great American novel. You know, something like that. I don't know. It's a pipe dream or fantasy or something. I don't know. It's just a thing in my head. Yes.
And I think I mentioned this before on some way a long time ago episode, but that you were talking about how I wish there were jobs and stuff like this, and I'll have to look up the theoretical physicist, because the theoretical physicist's name again, but he had a little speech, or maybe mentioned it in the book or whatever, about how those are the kind of jobs that are going to actually be in demand in the future, because the automation's going to take over everything else. But
things done by humans will be at a premium.
Yep.
It's coming. It just we have to live through the transition period.
I think all of us like that work in like the banking area could see like that's going to be robotic at some point, you know. And then what are we going to do, you know?
This has been our official endorsement of a universal income. Why don't I pigeon everyone else into untenable political positions for the rest of their lives? Why not? No, joking aside there. How about that SuperCon? What up with SuperCon, man?
What up with SuperCon? It's going full force. Every year we're just expanding. We're getting lots of different people wanting to get involved with SuperCon, and that's why we got to move this out from the Ramkota. And you know, they gave us a good place to host our 2 cons, and now we're going to be on that trilogy this year, so we got to make it good, you know, have it be a Lord of the Rings, or
it's a trilogy, so we got to really up the ante for the final battle.
You really do. I mean, this one, Empire Strikes Back, you know, that's the one they say is the best. So, you know, we're turning the con. We got to see if we can get a little energy there.
Sure. So let's see, and like you said, and like everyone has said, the Ramkota did a really fantastic job.
Yeah,
they were super supportive.
They didn't know what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
just
think about it. A chance. And
yeah, just think about what they're used to having there. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty different. You know, they're like, these guys want to do some nerd stuff here and dress up, and that's, you know, what's really crazy is like how weird people think that is. You know, they're like in there like the news, and they're like, look at these people, they're out there dressing up, and it's like, that's not that weird.
I don't mind that it gets you the free press cameras.
I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, me too. But I'm just like, it's just so weird how people think that's so like out of it.
It just shocks them.
Yeah, it's like it's shocking to them that like people want a safe haven to be who they are. You know, like there's not a lot of places
to just express themselves in some way without a lot of like freaking hang-ups.
Yep, that's what I really love about this whole nerd culture that's become so popular. Like people are wondering like why people want to be nerds. It's because like people live their lives and can't be who they are. You know, it's crazy. Like people, you know, they don't want people. You know, it's actually nice that like the nerd culture is being grown to where it's at because like. You're accepted to do whatever you want now, you know, and that you have a safe haven. Like, you know, these cons are a big deal to a lot of people because, like, other than that, they closet what they like, you know, and that's kind of sucks.
Yeah. I can imagine closeting what I like.
Exactly.
I like my stuff.
Exactly.
And my things. So the new venue, it's going to be at the convention center.
Yep.
What do you... and I suppose it's so early, you don't have, like, details on anything, but...
but do you?
Obviously we can infer bigger space,
yep,
like for vendors and stuff like that.
Yeah, there'll be more room for people to be there to vend, and you know, more artists, you know, more people, artists and things like that to come through. You know, and it's such an early works right now. We're still kind of wrapping up last year, just kind of figuring out what everything is. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be.
Do you know how we did, or how SuperCon did numbers wise?
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
It's still kind of, like I said, we're still kind of wrapping
I follow it, but I was like, I don't even know if that got announced at any point yet.
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
No, yeah, and that takes a while, you know, to make sure everybody's been paid and everything's been good and just kind of see where we're at. But,
sure.
I mean, the first step is getting our venue because without a place to have the nerds meet up, there's nothing yet, you know? That's the biggest step.
If you lease a hall, they will come.
Exactly, yep. So getting the place... That is essentially the biggest announcement. That tells you that there's going to be an opening. We're going to be there, and you know, if you've been there for the last 2 years, you know what we're going to do, and we're going to do it bigger because you know every year you would be surprised, but you know there's lines in certain things, certain aspects to you know people wanting to be a part of it, and like last year there wasn't enough room for certain people to come, so they had to be on a
which is amazing considering how much more space there was this year than.
Yep,
last
exactly.
year.
Yep, and yeah, it's and you know people learn about it throughout the year, and you know so then if you're getting in late, they're like, hey, I want to do this for you guys. Well, I'm sorry, we're already kind of booked for all that, you know, as far as everybody in that section. Yep.
Yeah, and then another thing with it is the new season. Going to be doing it in the fall, so that'll be.
Yep. Well, what we were kind of facing at the time was that we, you know, getting established is kind of a crazy thing because when you're new, people don't realize, like, they're like, well, why are you having a Mother's Day weekend and graduation? That's the only spot we had to do. You know, it's not like we wanted to do that. It's not like we wanted to inconvenience our crowd from coming because, I mean, think about it. So many different aspects weren't able to come because they were gone for the whole entire weekend. You know, and Friday... you know, we do the gaming, and we were trying to open a little bit more. But this year, I think, you know, if I could say anything about this upcoming year is that I think Friday we're going to just have a little bit more going on because we are like alienating a little bit with not having Friday be, you know, as big and the vendors being open and things like that. So there's a couple things that, you know, I can kind of nudge to that we may be doing. But everything as far as being at the Sheraton is going to be in the works for the next couple of months as far as kind of just getting the overall game plan for what we're going to do. But you know, this year
and moving the season too also it buys you some time, which is always good.
And yeah, and that is also a really good thing to have a little extra time. But so we'll see. And that was also a game plan to avoid other conventions too, because you don't want to step on an established con's toes as well. We're here to be, you know, your friendly neighborhood con, not, you know, someone trying to take over.
Not the Galactus of cons in this region.
Exactly.
I will devour you. Come to our panel.
So on the last episode, you talked about doing an event in October, like a music event.
Yeah. Every year, you know, it's just for myself. I really kind of want to get certain things put together, you know, just for myself. And I've been passionate about music, and I think, getting the community together from that aspect is just really good. Finding what people are out there to, feel that same way, to do music for charity, and that's kind of what I've been doing. Last year, we kind of had a falling for having a concert just because we were kind of at the edge of our con because we had it at a different area, and before we were able to run it because it was a little prior. But yeah. So we kind of got that. But this year we're going to be doing another one, working with some pretty cool people. So, and Dustin's got a band here that. So.
A bird in a hand.
There you go.
A bird in hand.
A bird in a hand.
Seth just had that instant like. Are you gonna do another fucking you don't know how to say a word bit?
No, I love it.
And the answer is very.
So yeah, it's good to have bands. You guys' bands have been together for quite a while.
Yeah.
I know my band
5
has
years
been
or so.
I remember seeing you guys
years.
at like
Maybe
the
longer.
what's that place down there, Latitude 44.
Yeah, we played almost every place in town now, I think.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, but we typically do
Even
our...
Chuck E. Cheese.
No, that would be awesome though.
That would be pretty
If they
badass.
have
I
us,
have to
we'd
say.
love it.
Like if they could just move the guys out and you could just
Yeah.
roll with it, yeah. That would be a really random place to be like, yep, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese. They'd be like, that's not real. That's not real.
We'd have to dress up or something though.
Yeah.
Got to keep up with the rat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the music thing is something that I'm just like passionate about, and I don't know, I just like that community. I think, a lot of times, it's changing all the time, and I just want to see what's out there and see who's willing to play. I mean, that's really kind of what it is. And it goes for a good cause. I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
What's
So
the
then
cause on that one?
It just, I mean, it's just raising more money for the charity, really.
Oh, sure, for SuperCon in general.
So
okay.
I don't, and like that's the thing is like I don't get anything out of it. The band members don't get really anything out of it other than playing for charity, and that's just a solid thing, and just in general.
Just a good time.
Yeah, it's just a good cause, good
Possibly
time.
a free beer, but
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
He's like, whoa. Back that up a little bit. My rider, which is written on a bar napkin, clearly states I get one free beer.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and Biggs is the one that lets us host it over there, and they've been really cool. A couple nerds that work there, so
Very nice.
that's a good spot.
And so you're open to new artists or people that, do you already have it booked up, or if somebody wants to play?
Yeah, if
how
you
do they
want
hit you up?
Yeah, if you want to play, hit me up. My name's Joseph Ektnitphong. You can look me up on Facebook. I'm sure there's going to be some plugs. If you go to Pokehon on Sioux Empire Podcast, you can find me that way. I have all my links to all my videos, to my social media. So, yeah, I mean, I'm willing. I'm an idealist, and I look for opportunities to bring people together, and that's what I did with SuperCon. I like to do that with music. I like to do that with anything I'm passionate about, is just bringing people to, be the person they are and share the things they love.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I find it really cool too that you're, aside from this, you're also a father.
Yeah.
And your kids get to experience that. I'm just kind of like, I look at like how you operate and like what my childhood was like with anything that was even remotely geeky, and I'm just like, it's okay. Cry. But no, it's just really inspiring, man.
Kids are like really cool these days, though. I mean,
I know,
they
right?
really are. Like they know, because like I said, like the nerd culture's kind of gotten to be a big deal now, and like kids are growing up being like nerdy and cool, Like kids are like they follow those trends, like the Minecraft and like just all this really like cool stuff that like they have. They have like technology at their hand, like that's something we didn't have growing up. Like we had adventures where you went outside, and like these kids, they have like different things that are out there for them to tackle. Like YouTube wasn't a thing when we were little kids, but like you see there's like kids that are like becoming like YouTube famous because they have a different idea like how to approach life. Like that's something that this generation has that we didn't,
Yeah, and what they end up with is like so wildly like alien from like I pictured that like like a naive idiot, I always told my siblings, it's like we're probably of that age and that time where we're used to constant change from technology, being like her and I born in like early 80s. We're totally used to the change, so there won't be as much shock between us and like our kids as far as like technology and stuff like that. Because the idea that wow, everything's going to change because of technology, while that was new to my grandparents and even my parents, it's like I expect it. I expect constant change, and I'm still blown away by how different and how unique and how. You know, it's like, is this what it's like? They probably thought the same thing. Maybe they're like, "Oh, I won't be my parents. I won't sit around and be like shocked by this new change." And holy fuck, what is that? You know.
Well, it's also kind of interesting that like I feel like I've found myself in a way, and like it's cool that like I'm the person that like I don't mind my kid looking up to too. Like. And it's like it is really interesting to share my hobbies with him. Like I show him my videos, he likes them, and it's just It's gonna be interesting to see what he thinks when he's a little older.
When
I
get
get
the
YouTube.
teen years and be like, "Dad's channel is so lame."
Like my channel's cooler. Subscribe to me, or whatever.
Oh
he's
shit!
doing.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like,
I mean,
head to head.
I mean, there's been times that my son's like said, make a video or take a picture, and like I'm like, oh god, he's gonna maybe get into it. I don't know.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. We live in crazy times.
Well, just think about if your dad was a YouTuber.
Let's not.
But I mean, like, just think about that, and he was into like the things that you were into in a way, like you know what I mean. Like kids are into essentially what I'm into, so it almost makes me feel like a big kid. But like like I said, like growing up. Like nerd culture wasn't all there, so like I didn't really think about stuff as much, but like, and that's kind of what's helped me kind of find the person I am, and like just kind of wanting to get things that I like into action, because like I kind of lost the train of thought on that.
Oh, you're okay.
Kids
Our
like
listeners
the
aren't
same
used to
things as
that. They listen to me all the time.
Yeah.
I was trying to help them remember. Because I know what it's like to lose your train of thought. And I was like, no.
We can all relate to that, I think.
But I was trying to be helpful for once.
But it is
You're
really
helpful.
like I am curious to see what he thinks about me, and that's like a thing that drives me, is like I want my son to know that I've done everything in my aspect like that I can think of to like do what I liked, and like I work that enslaving job of being there for people that don't really matter, and I do things like this that do matter, and that's something I do like.
That's really cool. You're exposing him to this whole other like world, and then I project.
Like I just go to work,
anyway.
to him like, oh well, dad's just going to work, and then like I do all this other stuff outside of it, and he does get to see,
Absolutely.
So do you think that I mean, the way that you said that your kid's got all this technology in his grasp, the way you said it, it sounded like you're really excited and happy about it. And I'd imagine if you have kids, I mean, you're just glad to have them, and you're not thinking of this technology is bad for them or it's changing them for whatever way. Rather, if you compare them to kids 100 years ago that didn't have technology to today, I mean, it's obviously completely different.
When we don't remember things, we look on like our phones or like whatever way to get on the internet. Like people used to just be able to think without having like this open platform to just think really outside of the box or learn something in a very quick manner. You know what I mean? Like, just think about the things that you're like, I don't even know what that is. You Google it or you look it up and you know what it is. Like that's pretty interesting. Like you have to go get a book.
It's infuriating to think of an
look
era
up
where
something
you'd
like
be sitting.
that.
Let's get the encyclopedia out.
Like
Oh,
you
wait,
have
we
to
couldn't
actually
afford
go
it.
like and get
Dude.
somewhere with a book or find somebody that knows it. Like teachers were really must have been a huge tool then, because like they did spend their time looking up things to tell people about stuff, and like now it's like everything. People are like, I'm smarter than a teacher because I could look up anything they're saying now.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's even rewired people's brains when they do like neural imaging and stuff like that. That our brains are actually like setting up a network of knowing how to look up things instead of like storing the actual facts. And it's crazy.
A little bit small.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched something that was really interesting on YouTube. The guy's name's Vsauce, and what he did was he went into a room and it was like solitude. And because his mind, our minds are set to like constantly be looking at information and doing things like, and then like that's supposed like after a certain point supposed to make you crazy. He didn't end up being crazy or anything, but like he did
Was
that
it in a
experiment.
big white room?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I watched that video. I had never seen the guy before, but that popped up in my recommended YouTube Red.
Yep.
And so I watched that
Yeah, because
episode.
he
And I
does
was like,
Red.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's like it's things like that. It's like it make putting perspective on like something like just like that we're so used to things being fed to us. Like even like looking on Facebook, we're like looking at thousands of things at a time. Like our brains processing like these people are doing this. This is happening in the world. Like it's just crazy how quickly we can learn something.
Yeah, it was amazing how like basically on the first night he fell asleep for like an hour.
Yeah,
and figured that he had slept the full 8 hours. So from that point on, he was already like way the fuck off, and he was getting to the point where it's like actually legitimately worried that they had like forgotten about him or something had gone wrong. And
well, because he on the last day he slept, and then he thought it was his last day, but it was like a whole day like before. So like he stood up all day like, oh, they're gonna let me out soon, and then like he had to wait, and like it was like a whole day he had to wait.
And then at the end when the door opened, he was like scared he was hallucinating it.
But it's just cool.
Did not give him any food or what?
No, he had like food, but it was like, well, wasn't it Soylent? It was like, and it was all like portioned out bottles and stuff like that. So he kind of tried to use his hunger and thirst as like a time scale and stuff like that. But it was like a very controlled environment where everything was white and everything was in white unmarked bottles, and he's in a white, like anything to take away stimulus or
yeah there's like the boredom was there like the whole time. That was like the whole test is just like to not have your brain have something. And like they even did a test that I thought was pretty cool, is where like we would be willing to shock ourselves if that was the only thing in the room during boredom. Like it was an hour. Like they come in the room, they get told that this thing will shock them. Then the person leaves for a complete hour, and that person
no magazine.
The person will go to shock themselves just to get some sort of like stimulant for their brain.
And they don't even realize that that's what they're doing, is that they're bored. It's just that it's like once they've sat there for like an hour and they just have nothing to do. Eventually, they're like in their mind, what they're thinking is, I'm going to figure out how this thing works, but they're just literally just going and shocking themselves to have some stimulus.
So we would like have pain, to kind of overcome boredom. That's just weird. Like
it's really
kind of scary.
But it's understandable. Like we are
it's very scary.
It's actually really interesting to know that like our brains want so much.
Well, I mean, through operant conditioning and Pavlov's dog. It wasn't operant conditioning, but it sort of almost makes you think that there's no free will because your brain is so easily programmable. Because I mean, brainwashing is totally fucking you can change people's responses to stimuli through conditioning.
Yeah.
I mean,
where I'd go with this though is that particular scenario isn't so much conditioning as it's the environment. What it kind of does say is, it's like, so if someone is in a neighborhood where the only thing to do is crime, or they're in a rural area where the only thing to do is meth, it's like, guess what? Eventually, even though they know it's terrible, well, I guess I'll try some meth because I'm that bored,
Right.
And, I know that's an extreme example, but yeah, kind of. You see that.
Yeah,
in the real
and so
world.
it's amazing I didn't know that it's changing the pathway of the neurons and
Yeah, they can see it in imaging, which is creepy.
No, I fucking love that shit though. I can't wait till they have an efficient quantum computer that can fucking, I don't know, man. Because I mean
That'll totally map it.
They do have
so
a
they can
quantum
literally see
computer
like,
that
oh, this is what's happening.
It functions,
but barely. It's like
right.
basically the quantum equivalent of a bit right now.
Exactly. Yeah. But going back to like kids nowadays have all this wealth of knowledge at their hands. To anybody that old people that have the argument of it takes away their patience or whatever, you're missing out on all the positive, all the benefits that they have. I mean, I'm a globalist. I like the idea of fucking borders are just lines drawn by the rulers of the masses. So giving kids and everybody in the world the option to look up anything, look up a word without fucking opening up a dictionary and looking, figuring out, knowing the alphabet.
Their dictionary is the internet, though. You know what I mean, though?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's like, you may like that initial idea of like looking it up on a book, but like that is what they have to look up now. You know what I mean? Like that's the way that they're going to be raised now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's
going to be. It's easier access.
So did the people that only had oral traditions when writing came out, were they sitting around like, oh, this fucking writing, you're abandoning what's real, man? I picture some caveman being like, you're abandoning what's real, man. We speak with our words like human beings, not read squiggles on a scroll.
Well, the thing that's like interesting though is like you have to think that like things are changing so rapidly. Like even textbooks that are in schools are outdated, though. You know what I mean?
Yes. Which is why they should be digitalized.
So it has to be digitalized, exactly.
To college students for $100
So then you're taking away the book market, though, in a way. You know what I mean?
But they don't smell the same.
And people that live off creating books, it's almost taking some of their revenue in a way.
The ridiculous thing, though, I mean, is that I can understand it from the book perspective, the book manufacturer's perspective, because they're going out of business. But for the teachers and everybody else that's involved, why not take the leap and change into a digital format? I mean, I'm sure there are some community colleges out there that do that. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But
well, like, let's just say, though, like, I find out something I like, right? I write a book about it. Then it changes. Then someone would have to go in there and change my work. You know what I mean? Like, that's almost how the internet works. That, like, that book would have to be relevant, like, continuously.
Oh, yeah. It's really tough with, like, programming books.
Mm-hmm.
You can find really solid ones that hold up over time.
Exactly,
Their broader principles are good. But, I mean, if you have one that's like, oh, this is the Dummy's Guide or whatever guide to WordPress 7. It's like, well, WordPress 8 came out. Okay,
that's the crazy and that's the thing that like history kind of holds pretty well. But then like now we have like all this crazy technology where we can go back and like change certain things and like it just now. What about
whoa, back the fuck up. We have a time machine. Are you telling me? You built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
I seen that was like so interesting.
The style.
I just recently seen something that was so interesting online, and it's really cool that we have online because like they're recoloring pictures from the past. That is so cool.
I know.
That's so cool, dude. Like you can see the colors of like people and pictures that were like, in the past. Like just to have that colorization of like what the person would have been wearing, what the colors would have been like. That's so cool. I don't know.
As long as it keeps that sepia tone, so we know it's the past.
You've seen that thing, that's
I've
so
seen it.
Cool, dude. I don't know, man.
But like I said, they got to keep the sepia tone, or else I won't know it's the past.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's what I was saying. You can almost change the way people see history now because you can find new things out and update it, and like there's color pictures now of things that were in black and white. That's just so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, the historian in me just loves the crap out of that.
Yeah. It is cool, though. Because then they get to be like, well, nope, you have to color it this way. This is exactly how it was,
So I wonder if they can do that to photos you purposely took in black and white, like in the 90s.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be able to?
I wonder if they'll do that, even though the artist's intent the whole time was, like, that it be black and white.
There's still people that are, like, fighting it. It's like... they're not going in there and changing the picture like the original one. They're not going and coloring on it.
Yeah, they're not.
Like,
Paint my number.
Don't do that. It's like, why not?
Why do you care? Parents' pictures of their grandparent or people's pictures of their grandparents because it's the only thing they can't replace.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a somebody joke. I stole that from a stand-up comedian, guys.
Standard.
We do that pretty often.
Retold it pretty well. I might, if I do say so myself.
So we should be impressed by what they did, or okay. Fair enough.
No.
Oh.
The Sioux Empire Podcast proudly presents this week's Shameless Plugs.
Were you gonna say something, or you were popping your
No, I'm
knuckles?
done.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we're back at Shameless Plugs. This will air 2 weeks from tonight, or like 2 weeks from Sunday. So once again, promote your stuff. What are your websites? You got like the SuperCon website. They can learn about upcoming updates as they come out from there. And where else?
When you go on supercon.com, you're going to notice it's quite a bit different now because we're getting into 2018 now. So that's changed a little bit. So if you want to see something that's updated, you can check out the website there. Other than that, you can go on Facebook and look us up. And if you haven't yet, at least just give us a like, check us out. I mean, you don't even have to be into it. Just, share the love. I mean, everything that we're doing is trying to support locals and charities here. So, both of our charities, Reach and JY6, are local things that we're supporting. So you can find those, pages too as well if you want to check out, who we're trying to fund and grow as well. Other than that, you can find me on my Facebook. You can just look up my first and last name, Joseph Ektnitphong, and find me there. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter. I think it's Pandapong89. I wasn't able to get my domain. I think there was some sort of gaming thing for Pokehon, and I don't know what it was, but I found it when I went on and searched it when I was first coming up on YouTube, so I wasn't able to get that, so I just went with something that's like a nickname and short for my last name. Instagram, Staying Nerdy with Han. I think that's really most of what I have. Other than that, hit me up, talk about things that you would like to get into. If you have anything that you heard that I'm into, because that's a big thing that I like to do, is just explore my hobbies, and that's what's keeping the channel going. That's what's keeping life kind of rolling. Yeah, be sure to check out Pokehon on YouTube. It's a great channel, and we always share those videos when we can on the SiouxEmpire.com. Yeah, the podcast has been great. Even when you go on to their homepage, you can always see their feed, and you can see sometimes my videos showing up there as well, which is really nice. But there's also a separate section too, which they keep a good job of keeping everything I'm posting up there too. So, thank you very much. Eeny, meeny, miny, Natasha, what do you got?
This tattoo guy again, but I'll just do that. But also
this
hobby.
tattoo does this tattoo guy that you gestured to on the radio have a name?
Yeah, the Bree guy.
Oh, Bree. Hey, Bree. What's up?
But also hobbies. People should do hobbies. Yeah.
That's a good. Oh, yeah. That's short and sweet, but that's a good plug.
But what's your hobbies that you're immediately into?
Knitting
and not cleaning my apartment.
Is that a hobby?
Apparently, I'm a huge enthusiast.
Sooner or later, I'll finish writing a story.
Hey, those things take time.
Oh, okay. You just gave me my shameless plug. Thank you.
Boom.
Let's see. Dustin, what have you got?
I'm going to plug this really cool tattoo guy's website.
Does this cool tattoo guy have a name?
Dustin Burry. My
I heard his name was Dustin Bree, but okay, whatever.
My website's dustinburi.weebly.com.
Seth, do you have a shameless plug?
Rob, what's your shameless plug?
I am looking it up right now.
All right, well then I guess I'll...
You better go.
All right. Okay. My shameless plug from 2 weeks from now is gonna be...
Isn't there some politician that you like?
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, thanks, Dustin. Hey guys, did you know that South Dakota is looking for a new governor, and we've found the best, most qualified applicant ever? Well, his name is Billy Sutton. So, when you see his name on a piece of paper, make sure you put a little mark to the left of it or to the right of it, wherever there's an open spot to put a mark.
What's that name?
Billy Sutton.
What's that spell?
Governor.
Nice. Good cover there. Well done. My shameless plug this week, something I just thought of, because Natasha brought up writing. I am, for the first time in years, going to fucking get off my ass and write some, pure, for the sake of writing for this, the Full Circle Book Co-op, if you're not familiar with them. That's our good buddies from, met a lot of these guys from the Bakery and from the Block Collective, poetry writers, book writers, South Dakota Writes, that group. So if you are a writer, They are currently the book co-op is launching their first anthology ever, and Volume 1, they're doing call for submissions, is called Midwest Apocalypse Post-Apocalypse. Yeah.
Oh no, finishers, but I have another one.
Okay, and so they're taking. We'll link to this in the show notes because they got all the rules here for like how long the poetry can be, or you can do micro/fiction, photography, stuff like that. But the idea is it's some kind of artistic artwork that has something to do with apocalypse or post-apocalypse in the Midwest. And I have the perfect story outline that I'm going to turn into a story for it, and I have the perfect spot. I'm going to take a photo that is like so fucking Mad Max metal yet awesome. Like I gotta go back to my folks' farm and find the spot. But yeah, I am all up in this thing, and that's my shameless plug. Is you should definitely get some stuff together if you're a creative for this anthology, because it's going to be awesome. And I'm pretty sure they're doing a deadline party like on December 1st for it.
Did you share that recently? Because I swear I've seen something about you going to write for them. Where I'm just not sure where I've seen.
I've shared a link to it, but I haven't said any. This is probably my first announcing that I intend to write something for it.
Okay.
But I've been getting my fingers into all.
Have you been
sorts of
into
stuff
any like blogs or anything where you've said something?
I've been recruiting a new wave of freelance writers. And
Okay,
they've been doing, like,
maybe that's
article
what I've heard.
submissions and stuff
Okay.
like that. So yeah, you're probably, if you're in the secret group for the podcast.
Yeah.
You're probably seeing posts about like story topics and stuff.
Okay,
like that.
okay.
I like Seth. Shh, it's a secret.
It's a secret group.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey guys, so I forgot mine because I'm not going to be here for the next episode. So in September, I am going to Red Rocks to see Soundtrap Sector 9. That is another shameless plug, Soundtrap Sector 9. Fucking love their music, and it's been too long. Can't wait to see you again. Red Rocks, baby. Fuck yeah, Red Rocks.
Yeah, so if you're gone for the Jody Schwan episodes, and then we go on break for Labor Day, yeah, we won't see you again until September. I'm sad. I'm sad, Keanu, about this.
Hey man.
Whoa.
It's only till September.
Okay.
We'll always have tonight.
We'll always have Natasha's spit take.
Of all the couches
I got that
you had
picture
to
of
sit
that
on
air
in
hook.
the world, you chose the couch next to me.
And you can always listen to the podcast, and then that way you'll be close to each other.
And that way you'll know that my heart does go on.
I'm just gonna get a big.
And in post, I'm totally going to turn that into the Titanic theme.
There you go. You
Good-
should. You
I'm gonna
should.
put a nice
Good-
big
good
picture
night,
of you
everybody.
with that.
Celine Dion, isn't it?
Bye.